apparently, according to Gary Vee, a name means fuck all.
Really? Oh, that's how good you are. You've been watching him as well?
I have a little go. I'm
you
not as into him as others. Not you, but I've got a lot of friends that are into him at the minute.
Really?
Yeah, it started off. My mate Andy gave me a book about him. Jab Jab.
Right up.
Yeah, and I was starting working for a not a management company, for a music company, and I never read it. Two of the boys at Taboo, they've got a production company called Forest Door, and they've worked for him directly. But since then, I think he must have just gone interplanetary, global, fucking nuts. Because everyone knows about him, don't they?
Yeah, he has, and that's what you've been saying recently. Like, you didn't know who I was 18 months ago.
Has it been
I've
that
been
quick?
putting out content for the last 8 years.
Is that how quick it's been? Just goes to show you, doesn't it, really?
2007, I think, he left Wine Library. So he built up this company for his mum and dad.
Why company?
Wine Library.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he started talking about it.
Was he minted with, like, via that, though?
No, he paid himself a wage, but he built up the company for his mum and dad. He never took anything out of it.
What, social media-wise? Like, on that marketing and that?
Well, he was putting it on YouTube, weren't he?
I don't know his story.
Oh, you should check it out.
I should do a lot of things.
Are you talking about Taboo? What happened with that?
What happened with that? My music management career hit the
Where was
skids.
you working then? You said that you were working at a music management company.
Yeah, it was weird because I was in a job that I fucking told myself I hated for 15 years, and I was with a girl called Jordan. Props, Jordan. I was wrong about you. And she had a
Well, that
friend.
was the pretty one with the big lips, isn't it?
Yeah, she was lovely. She was a really nice person, actually.
What happened to her?
I brought in my problems from the past relationships
Oh.
and proceeded to, destroy that. Systematically destroy it.
Is
Worked
that a
out well.
recurring theme?
Yeah, it's a recurring theme, yeah.
Oh.
But I'm hoping that
That chair might stay together by the end of the interview.
I'm hoping so.
This one's falling apart as well, so you're not alone.
As long as I'm not alone, that's what I care about. I'm just going to sit here like that.
Is that also a recurring theme? That you're
Fake
not
it,
alone?
bitch. Yeah. I
Anyone
So-
will do.
so
Give £1 now.
So we can buy some new garden furniture.
Then we can buy
We're
some
running
new-
out of chips and all as well, and alarm
Lentil
rate.
chips.
Jordan was a lovely person, and I came into it with a lot of problems and got engaged and stuff. So it went really, really well for a period of time. But I wasn't ready.
No.
No, hence the singleness for 2 years. I needed to look at myself a lot. But anyway, so she had a friend that was working in music and just put a post up on Facebook like, do you know anyone? And I sent them an email. And when I got the job, they said, we thought you was either fucking mental or brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
Which one were you?
well, I'm not working there anymore. So, it was good fun. It was like...
How long were you there?
a year?
Oh, that's not bad.
No, I was doing like my remit or my job was to do like produce content. So I was a content manager and digital content manager they called it. So it was coming up with articles 3 times a week.
Okay.
Which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But I'm doing
How was the content with Taboo?
non-existent. Really, if
Yeah.
I'm being brutal, it wasn't. It didn't happen.
Why
But I
not?
wasn't in charge of their
But
social
you
media.
were a content manager.
Not for them. I wasn't in charge of their social media.
That's a bit silly.
That's,
So that's what your background was, and they didn't put you in that.
I can lead a horse to water, Joe. I can't make it drink. Do you know what I mean? I did suggest that it might be an idea. I suggested a lot of things, but when you're young and you know everything, don't you? I still fall into that trap of thinking I know everything. So I was there for a year, and then I think I went into construction and I was roofing because I didn't want to go back to the old job. Basically what happened was I think Brexit was on the horizon and the company that I was managing was Italian. The company that I was working for were an Italian company. So I think they just closed ranks and fucked off. Strangely enough, there's no trace of them on the internet whatsoever.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was a tax scam.
Really?
Yeah.
So
then
you
I
got
went-
paid, right?
Yeah, I got paid every month. Damn
Yeah.
straight. I fucking
Who
burned that
cares?
place down. So then, long story short, I was sitting with I had a call from a mate. I got in touch with my mate Jack, who I used to be in the Filthy Habits with, and he said, I've been meaning to call you. I want to talk to you. So I met him, Matt, and Jack, and Glenn at a pub, and they said that the band that they were in, a folk band, weren't going to be working anymore because the lead singer had to go to Canada, and they wanted to try something new. And they had a guy in mind, E-Man, and I spoke to him that day, got him on board, sold him my fucking enthusiasm, got him on board, and they done really, really well. And I spent a year with them, and we achieved a lot, but throughout the process, it just became more and more frustrating as time went on.
And what were the frustrations?
I think that sometimes you think you know best, and sometimes you do know best, and you're trying to tell people that you know best, but they might not. They might look at your experience and say that you're not in the best position to give them advice. Which, if that's the case, why do they want you on board in the first place? And if you're trying to do something and what you're doing is not working, then perhaps you should listen to the advice of other people.
Oh, most definitely. And it's like a process of elimination. You know, you try different things, see what works and see what doesn't. It's not one size fits all, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the problem. It's either, I come back to that idea that if you make a choice or you don't make a choice, if you don't make a choice, you're already making a choice. So you can put out content or be scared of putting out content, but you have to start documenting your journey somewhere.
100%.
So when I was in a band, the stuff that we put out was dog shit. Proper dog shit. But if you're fearful of if you want to be a perfectionist, you can spend forever and a day like thinking about what you want to put out. You're just not going to put anything out.
No,
And people,
this is it.
People devour content. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember when we were kids? It'd be like, Definitely Maybe's coming out in 6 months. Fuck, like, I'll be outside HMV on the day when that drops. Release dates are a thing in the past now. Artists drop tracks without even telling you, and it's regularly. It doesn't work to like 3-month schedules or whatever the case may be. Things are changing. The landscape's changing. You have to be on board with that, I think.
Yeah.
So long story short, I got frustrated and I threatened to punch them all.
Fair enough.
But it took a year for me to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, and I regret it. And that's not the kind of person I am. But I was frustrated. They're super fucking, no doubt in how talented they are. No doubt. You said yourself. No doubt in how talented they are. But it comes down to, like you say, trying different things. If it doesn't work, you've got to try something else. And we'll see. I had a really good time, and I think it'll be good for my development, or I think it was good for my development. But
And what now?
what now?
What now for Bobby Smith?
I don't know.
What are you asking for?
I'm happy. So I'm not asking for anything. I'm happy. I'm happy every day.
Okay.
I'm happy every day. I was thinking the other day, if I won the lottery, wouldn't that be nice? And then I thought, probably wouldn't. Probably wouldn't, James, because you know me. And I'm really happy. On a daily basis, I'm genuinely happy, and I don't really want for anything. I do think the universe has got things in store for me.
Yeah.
And I do think that, you know, I'd
Well,
like
what
to...
resonates you? Because normally you can go by
I
how
love music. I love music. I've always loved music. I love music since I've been in the back of the car, listening to George Benson and Luther Vandross while my mum.
I think that was quite evident in what you were saying earlier as well. Like a lot of the stuff I hadn't even heard of. And you were saying that some of the members of the band were in previous bands. I hadn't heard of them either. But you know, I'm a one-stop shop with Oasis. If it ain't Noel Gallagher,
Yeah.
and I'm not really interested, if I'm honest.
I'm the same. Like, if I get into a band, I'll bum them for
Yeah.
a long
Oh,
period
okay.
of time. Like, I'm
And
into...
that's how you got into the music industry.
I don't
By
know.
bumming bands.
Bumming managers. No, I got into the music industry because I'd always been like a poet, I suppose, or a lyricist, say. And then
Oh yeah, because you were in a band, right?
I was in a band.
Yeah, you had like long hair and stuff.
Yeah, like we didn't play at the O2.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that bit, the Indigo.
No.
The actual O2.
No. Shut up.
How old is
Moving on.
Oh, it was the Indigo.
We toured
But
France.
you're gonna say the O2.
I'm saying the O2.
Yeah.
It says the O2.
It's in the O2, isn't it? Indigo.
It says the O2, Joe. Why are you
Indigo
dismissing
2.
Graham?
Is that what it is?
Why are you? You know how social media works.
Oh, how?
It says the O2.
Oh, fair enough.
Where's it the O2? We went to France. We beat in all seriousness, we beat 10,000 other applicants
Yeah.
to win Indie Act of the Year.
That's good.
But then again, West Ham say they got a season ticket waiting list of 50,000, so it's what you believe, isn't it?
Mm.
But what happened was I was going to join a band as a guitarist, and I saw Jack Pike, and it was like when Eric Clapton saw Jimi Hendrix, and he was like, "What's the fucking point?"
Who's Jack Pike?
He's a guitarist in Taboo.
Oh, okay.
And
So you
he's
got
just-
previous.
Yeah, we've got previous. Got a long time, 8 years. And my brother-in-law was due
So
to
how
be
come things have broken down so kind of dramatically then? If you've got a mate in a band.
because I've got two mates in the band
Oh, you got two.
and two mates that are not.
Oh, okay.
Two-
Is it then
two
like
people
a
that are not.
constant thing of
It's just
tug of war.
tug of war, exactly.
Yeah.
This is fucking more honest than I thought it would be. Yes, straight up though.
Yeah.
Two people that I care about, and two people that I don't. But
Yeah.
I would still help. I would help anyone. I'd help if you came to me and asked me for £1 on the tube. I'll give you £1. I'll help anyone. But if
I don't think that behaviour should be rewarded, man. People that are outside and just like that are just like do something with your life. Like, don't just be expected for handouts. Like, but then
how do you? I mean, yeah, but don't that come with age? Like where you realise that you've got to work for things, and they ain't just handed to you on a plate.
yeah. But it's just like that whole apathy of just like I don't care. I'm just gonna live outside the tube station. It's like I don't. That's your choice. Like,
It is their choice.
don't ask me for money. Like,
Yeah.
earn some money or go and do something that's going to get you some money. Get yourself into a better place where you're in a position then to. I don't understand why people are like that helpless.
Do you know what? That's so weird that you should say that, because the main dominant thought in my mind this morning was I'm happy to help people who are happy to help themselves.
This is it.
If you're
This
not
is
happy to help yourselves, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because you might not need me, but
Fair
if
enough,
you show
if-
me a willingness to help yourself, I'll help you all day long. If you're not,
But I just think to myself, like, there's people that are less able and are less intelligent than those people that are choosing to sit outside, that don't choose to do that, and for whatever reason they're able to get housed, they're able to get by and have some kind of quality of life. I honestly think, with a lot of people, and it's going to be quite controversial, that I think homelessness is a choice for some people.
I don't believe that. I believe that. I honestly believe
Because
that.
when Jade worked at social services, there was a guy, I think it's the guy that's outside Barclays, and she said they've tried to house him 4 times and he just will not thing. And it's just like a way of life for him,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of Russell Brand's early stuff. It's fucking wicked, by the way. Like, one of them he fights his dad.
What?
Yeah, it's called Dad Fight, I think. It's
What do you mean
like
his early stuff?
before he was
Before Big
famous.
Brother?
Yeah, before he was famous, he was doing all these mental stuff where he sucked a geezer off in a toilet.
Hmm?
Yeah, he needed therapy afterwards. He got into
I
the
bet why did he do that?
because he's exploring taboos.
Oh, really?
That's not a name check. Yeah, no, he went to he sucked a geezer off in a pub toilet, needed
Magic.
therapy. Yeah, magic. He got his dad in a boxing ring and had a fight with him to that old Oedipus thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he took a homeless guy home, and the homeless guy could not cope with being indoors and being housed.
Oh,
he
we
couldn't.
did that one night. We got a homeless guy. We got a homeless guy from outside Camden Station. He was like one of them rainbow warriors.
How much? Yeah, you.
And we shoveled it up him.
Did you?
Yeah, I've got pictures of it
Treated him
somewhere.
to the good life and
Yeah.
sent him back up.
I was like, no, come on. And Asbo was like, Jay, please don't bring him in my house. So I was like, bruv, I've got the Persian rugs. He's either coming, otherwise I'm going to take him somewhere else. He's either coming up to yours or he's
We're
not.
going.
Yeah, and
It's
he was
me
like,
fucking
and no one wants
Swampy
to give
here.
up a free Henry, do they? So,
Never.
so yeah, we had Swampy, and I'm sure I called him Swampy for the remainder of the evening.
How
And
did
then
that
done
work
that
out?
one at 3 o'clock and just went.
Man, you got to go. I feel bad.
I just said, I'm just going to go to the toilet.
Fucked up.
Out the door.
Yeah.
Left Swampy there. I was like,
Left Asbo to sort it out.
yeah.
I think that I do agree. It's a lifestyle choice for some. I think if some people want to be helped, then help should be available. But
There's more help available than people say there is.
I think so. Like, they come up to me and they say, "Oh, have you got a tenner?" Or, no, they don't say, "Have you got a tenner?" They say, "Have you got a pound?" I'll give them a tenner, and I'll say that should be enough to get you a hostel. Can you go and seek help in a hostel? And they'll be, oh well, I've been thrown out of a hostel. Why?
Yeah.
If you're behaving yourself and you genuinely want help, why have you been thrown out of a hostel? Like, you've obviously, there's more to this story than meets the eye. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The other thing is as well, you know those people that give to homeless people, but they're like, "Oh, I'm giving you this money. Please don't spend it on alcohol or drugs." What are you going to do if you're homeless?
Yeah,
You're
mate.
going to get out your peanut.
You ain't paying rent.
So not only do you want to judge them for asking for money, you want to judge them twice by, "Oh, I'm going to give you this, but only if you go and buy a Tesco's meal deal."
Mate, if you wanted
Fucking
to buy,
go and get levered. Do whatever you need to
buy
do.
a Tesco's
When
meal
people
deal, you
give,
would.
you got to give and just fucking detach yourself from
Yes,
it.
you-
I don't
you're
understand
big
why.
on that.
Oh, well, I'm just going to give you this, but you're not going
on
to
the
spend it
condition
on.
of,
Yeah.
I'll give you this.
Are you giving this money or
Or
not?
not.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Giving, that's that whole like.
Of course, I'm gonna go and buy one of each.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Pay my rent. I don't have any.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna be knocking about a new pair of Nike Air
No.
Maxes, am I? I'm on the street. Like, I'm gonna escape my fucking reality if that's what I want to do. But you make a good point. It's about giving with a good heart, and an expectation. You either give and you forget it, or you don't.
Yeah.
You can't give to someone with the expectation. It's like unconditional love. I'll love you if you get good GCSE results.
Yeah,
Fuck
this
off.
is
I'd
it.
rather live with dad.
Well, we grow up with people's expectations, isn't it? Like my mum's and my wife's and my
Absolutely, don't we?
sons. And
Do you have expectations on other people though?
not anymore. I mean, I used to, and that's a big thing of unhappiness, man.
Yes.
Is expecting other people to read your mind, because like we're all so bad at communicating. We're all like just have a strop instead of being able to go.
Ching.
What this did like really pissed me off, like,
That's so
and I'm getting so much better with that now. And I'm saying, see what you did there, like it really made me feel like this, or da 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 da, or I chose to feel like that from you doing that, and it's life changing, man. Where before you like fucking 4 days of silence, and
It
it's
is
just
that
like,
open communication. It's more difficult, mate. It's easier said than done. Like, people are not used to it. I don't know why
Not
we
at all.
brush things under the carpet and then have a resentment about it, because that resentment will grow inside.
because
of
we
you.
feel silly about even that, and having to admit that
Yeah.
that one little thing that probably doesn't mean anything to that other person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is important to me.
Yeah, because like sometimes I can give it, but then sometimes my missus will fire back, and I go, oh fucking hell, that hurt a little bit. And I have to like catch myself before I go into 4 day silence mode. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
It's hard because.
and I'd go, and sometimes I flip between it, and then I remember, is that what she fucking really thinks, or
But it's not though, is it? It's not what she really thinks. It's how you've interpreted it.
exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
It's your
but then it'll be like,
interpretation.
no, of course not, and then it'll go, oh no, and then the little devil on that side will be like, oh no, she definitely thinks that, and I'll be, no, she doesn't think that, does she? No,
I read
no.
a text message. That's
And,
got no
honestly,
context.
we'll have like 4 or 5 interactions between that, and I will just be like that, like a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
you're-
she'll be like, "You all right?" And I go, "Yeah, no, I'm sweet.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
No. Are you alright? I'm fine.
Yeah.
No,
So
but you're more open to the ideas of, like, you've spoken a lot today about conditioning and stuff.
yeah,
And I think that's the main problem. I've said it before, like, we condition our children to be in our own image, yet we're fucked up. So what good's going to come of that? You just want to make your kid fucked up as well. Like,
Yeah.
you're open-minded enough. I've seen you with your kids today as well, and you're a fucking wicked dad, I have to say. Like, and I've known that for a long time, but I don't think it's about placing conditions on people, Jane.
no, I'd let. I mean, within reason.
Yeah, there's got to be
I'm
boundaries.
constantly between like, should I tell him to get off the sofa? He's definitely gonna fucking split his head open if he falls, or will I just let him fucking fall and he'll never do it again?
This is it.
And I'm like, you learn from your own mistakes, but at the same time, you have to like have some kind of level of safety for your children. Do you know what I mean? So I'm constantly trying to find that balance of let them live, but at the same junction, please just don't kill yourself.
Do you know what I thought, like, the other day, like, when I was growing up, like, when I was 15, I couldn't get on the tube. I went to get on the tube as part of a college course, and I couldn't get on there. I was shaking to fuck. Like, the anxiety was immense. And I was a proper cotton wool kid. And I think it's because when your mum and you are over the park, don't go up there, you'll break your neck.
Yeah, this
you
is
won't
it.
break your neck,
No,
you'll
of course
scrape
not.
your
Yeah,
arm.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or
Oh, this is it, and we're constantly
or you'll
putting
break your
our
arm.
fear.
You'll kill
on-
yourself doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You won't. You definitely
Yeah.
won't, but you will hurt yourself, but then learn.
It's like, this is the other thing, because I see so many parents on social media where their kids are pristine, and I was thinking to myself, like, My kids like won't even let me like brush their hair, let alone like get them in matching outfits and all pose for a nice thing. And in a way, I'm like, oh, I'm gutted that we ain't really got some. I mean, we've got some nice photos. We ain't got,
all your photos
but
are
like,
nice.
but some people put up photos. Every single photo is like all pristine. And I think
That's bullshit.
And then I think to
Kids are
myself,
like
like, your kids are little robots.
Do
Do you know what I mean?
Them
Like,
kids
this
are
is
like
it.
that going,
Yeah,
there's
and
no
this is
life
the other
to
thing.
be
It's
behind
like they both got like whole wardrobes of Ralph Lauren stuff.
I know, you're Ralph Lauren mad.
Yeah, and
Let's talk the sponsorship.
but saying that, it's only because I am that big, or was that big, or still am that big, but reducing, shrinking. That's only really the nicer clothes that I can wear.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
It's
Yeah,
only
like
them
I'm
that go up
like
to
a
them
free.
sort of
I'm
sizes?
like a free LT, which is like a extra because I'm both big and tall.
You are tall. No, I
Not
didn't
only-
realise how tall you was
yeah,
until I
so-
saw you again today.
So not only was I much bigger that way, but I'm also
How
so
tall are you?
6'2", I think.
I thought so. I would have thought you're bigger than that.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make is that they don't care whether they're wearing
Do you know what?
whether they're wearing Ralph Lauren, Nike, or whatever.
I would kick my kids out. This is the funny thing. I would kick my kids out and Ralph.
And that's my insecurities projected on them,
Right.
Because my mum brought me up in BHS, and
My
I was
mum-
like, I don't want them to be that kid.
My mum would always like look. She did well. Like I claim to be poverty stricken. We weren't. We done all right. She would. She worked hard, so we would get stuff rather than cuddles, Oil Lily and Bennett and that. But I would put my kids in Ralph Lauren, and it was only recently that Finn went. My mate mugged me off for wearing that.
Really? Oh, because that's not the in thing,
What,
right?
Ralph?
Yeah.
Like, but it's like that thing
Everybody
where
else is wearing Supreme.
you break your neck to pay for your kids to have these nice things, and then they're jealous of the kid that's in Spider-Man shoes.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah, and it's like.
But it is you. You're
100%, yeah. I was like, no, Converse or Nike Air or da 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 da.
Yeah,
And
them.
Diddy wants like a little silly pair of £8.
The BHS one.
Yeah, the Spider-Man one. Off. No, I'm not having you.
What, with the
walking around like
Velcro?
that. Yeah,
No.
yeah. And I've always kind of been no way, no.
But that's
fucking
you,
way.
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
my mum was the same. God bless her. I'm having my she's house proud, and that's nice, and I've appreciated that as I've got older. But that's not necessarily me as a human being.
No.
I might want to live like a fucking hobo or a hippie or whatever I want to live like. That's me. And I've had to have that conversation on many a times. Like, fair play. If you're in someone else's domain, then adhere to their rules. That's fair.
Yeah.
But don't condition me to be like you. You're trying to make me into you. I'm me. So it's a tough one, but
Yeah, and that's what we do, and I guess
We
it's
do
just
do
carried
that.
on from generation after generation, but also what society thinks. You know what I mean? Because quite often it's difficult to, especially like Albert, say for example, get on a bus and then he's like,
his name was.
what?
Go on, carry on.
What do you mean? There's
No, go
Sydney
on.
and Albert.
It is Sydney.
Yeah.
I thought he was on a wind up
do
earlier
you
when you
mean?
went his name's Sydney, and I thought that rings a bell. And then I thought this cunt's
You
on a
don't
wind
want
up. I'm
two
going to go.
children.
You're right, Sid, and he's going to go. My name's Kevin.
Kevin, who names their kids Kevin?
Exactly.
That's worse than Barry.
Gary's dying
know.
out. Gary's dying out. But go on.
Yeah.
Alb says what?
So because he's he's autistic and whatnot, so people don't understand that. Like looking at him, he's like and I was quite surprised that he was a bit sheepish when you initially came in, but you went and engaged with him.
Good with kids.
Yeah,
boy.
and he like opened up to you.
Yeah,
But people will see him having a meltdown on the bus, us trying to get him to school, because like what happens is Monday to Fridays, like I'd say Wednesday to Friday you're into the routine of being at school. Monday and Tuesday are touch and go because he's got 2 days off and he's very
He's back into the routine of
the
the weekend.
routine of being the weekend. Yeah, so when it comes Monday, he's like,
Fuck this.
yeah.
Is that how he, that? But that's isn't that?
And then, but other people's lack of understanding just see him as being like loud and like upset and da 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 da. They don't really think, Where now, kind of working with people with disabilities, but also, having a child with a disability. Now I'm a lot more
aware of it.
Yeah, well, just not quick to judge. You never know what because they'll say, "Oh, fucking, put your kids on a lead," or do you know what I mean?
What's
Or that
mad?
kind
I was
of.
thinking that today. How we judge other people. You ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, what's going
on?
Well, that's one of my affirmations, and that's the biggest one. It's like,
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
As much as anyone else. I judge people on a fucking.
but we
drop
all
their
do.
hat.
This is the thing. We naturally notice
Why?
the difference. This chair's definitely going to go at some point, so
No,
I'll
you're
disappear
right.
then.
When it goes,
The trap door.
When it goes, we'll discuss it. Then. Oh, we catch it.
Yeah.
All right. So then the question is, why do we judge people, James? Do you think?
Because of our egos.
Comparison. Yeah.
Well, we notice because our brain is, and this is what I learned from watching lots of Tony Robbins when I was talking to you about him today. I've learned that our brains are survival mechanisms, so we always look for the danger or what's wrong in a situation. So we always
What's the word I'm looking for?
Anomaly.
There you go. Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that we're looking for something out of the ordinary to warn us that something's different here.
Yeah, so it's like
Familiarity.
Yeah. So if there's something that's a danger to us, so it's basically so we naturally notice the difference in each other, and we naturally separate from each other rather than togetherness. So we actively have to work towards togetherness.
And that's just you're talking about like Neanderthal shit, then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so back in the day, like
So you're talking about unconditioning thousands of
Yeah,
years worth
exactly.
of shit.
Yeah.
The idea that puzzles me is that we do, and I think consumerism has a lot to do with it, where we separate ourselves by saying, I'm better than you because my status is I've got a Land Rover, or I've got...
Oh, then that's it. So then it's the class thing.
But-
and that's another thing of division, religion, race,
anything.
and all of that.
Yeah, job, partner, whatever. But the fundamental fucking principle is we're all human beings on the planet together.
Yeah.
Oneness is where it's
I noticed that at the gym today. So I was just thinking to myself, this geezer's got his Mickey out this far away from me, and we don't even acknowledge each other. We don't even acknowledge that so I've gone, right, well, you have some of that as well, crash.
Gone in for it.
And you don't even... and I was thinking to myself, this is such weird behaviour. It's like the loneliest place on earth is a crowd full of... is a tube train full of people.
We don't even
We
acknowledge each other.
don't look at each other. We pretend like
James.
each other doesn't exist.
I smile at people and I go...
And they
I
probably
get
think,
this,
oh,
I get
not
this,
a
I get this,
fucking
I
lunatic.
get this.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like-
it's just so weird. It's just like, so me and this one guy, because like on a Sunday it's notoriously...
Mickey out, boy.
Yeah, and I was just like, here's Mickey, like I need to get into 222, he's in 220, he's like 2 along, but he's taking up the whole of this thing, scruffy cunt, come on. And then,
Salt it.
yeah, and I'm
Get your
like, do
bag
you really
over
need
here.
the whole of that area?
doesn't.
Can I just get my stuff and I can make this my corner? But nah, so
Oh,
we
you
have
have
to
to
go
look
like
at
that.
your
So he's
brain.
getting thing, and I'm just like, this is so bizarre. Like,
How
we're
can
the
you
only
look at
two
someone's
people.
Mickey and not acknowledge him? Surely you've got to go like this.
Well, I didn't look. I just sit in my peripheral
But he's
vision.
got to go, all right, mate, and then...
Yeah.
Devo.
And it's just
I'm
and he
gonna get my
didn't,
Mickey
and
out,
I was
not
just
leave
like,
Mickey
this
out.
is a bit, and I just thought to myself, because another thing I noticed as well, when you get on a bus in the morning, right,
I'm thinking
and
about
we
his
will
Mickey.
we will go. So for example, we go upstairs because there's no seats.
Yeah.
We will individually fill up every single one with one person
Right.
before one person will sit next to another.
Because it will make that person feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It won't necessarily make me feel uncomfortable. I do things that make people feel uncomfortable all the time because I want to break them social boundaries down. I'll talk to people and then, like, going back to I'll smile at someone and you'll see their face break. They'll go,
Yeah.
you see it break. It's a process. Like, you'll see it break. I'm not a threat. I'm not, like, do you know, I read this thing and it said that, like, going back to animal instincts, if you smile at someone, they find it threatening because you're showing your teeth.
Yeah.
And it's like that animal instinct. I'll bite your fucking head off.
Yeah.
I'm not out here to hurt anyone. When you smile at people, they do 99.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
know,
mirror
90% of
the-
the
yeah,
time
they
they'll
mirror
mirror
what you
you.
do, yeah,
90%. 10% are just miserable cunts and they're beyond helping and I can't help you. You're miserable and that's you. And I don't want to help people that don't help themselves. But if we all smiled at each other and we all spoke on the tube, like, I got on the train the other day and I went, does this tube go Epping? And they went, got the earplugs in. I'm like, sorry, guys, does this go Epping? Yeah, it does, yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
You're in your own little world. You're being... I don't know if it is consumerism that's just keeping you in that bubble.
But do you know what I notice is that the further out of London you go and the less congested it is.
Do you think?
100%, because up north where my mum
Yeah.
is, everyone in the morning say good morning, da 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 da. And even being up the fields this morning, I was surprised how many people were interacting. Do you know what I mean? There's almost like
There's something to do with the sunshine that helps with
yeah,
that.
100%.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I can't. I have no
that
understanding.
sad thing, that seasonal
Do you
affective
think?
disorder, 100%
I just think it's
is
more
real.
like maybe darkness might give off the impression of danger, perhaps.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
100%. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always saying, morning. Like my mum goes, they're fucking miserable cunts around here where we live, and I think that's not my experience because
No.
I'm smiling. I'm going morning.
Yeah.
They're going
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
Mum
yeah.
comes out like it's that catch
Yeah,
22.
so you get out what you put
it's
in
that
at the
catch
end of the
22.
day.
Like you're miserable. You're miserable. Like not saying she's miserable. She's a lovely person, but you do get out what you put in, and you've got to. Someone's got to break the fucking, the status quo. To a certain
So you've
degree.
just called your mum miserable, and
No, do you know what I will say?
and
We're
you
the proper.
can't help miserable people because they don't want to help themselves.
Well,
So-
you say that, but me and her had a really strong conversation recently.
Who's her? The cat's mother.
Was you born in the barn? Fuck off! No, I'm joking, Mum. No, we had a really. Do you know what? She's helped me on my road to recovery because I spoke to her and I had talking about honest communication. I had a chat with her and I said, your behaviour or your reaction to my behaviour is having a negative impact on me. So she would be expecting a negative to come out of my mouth, so she would respond negatively. The last 2 months, James, she's been a different person, man. She's been.
Really?
I say morning. She's up, and it boosts me, and I'm boosting her. And
Yeah,
lately,
yeah.
I've
You've been
always
boosting
loved
each other,
her.
bro.
I've always loved her, albeit begrudgingly sometimes. Fuck off, Arsenal.
That's 3-0, I think.
Ugh, I don't care about football anymore. Begrudgingly, I've loved her, but most recently, I've really enjoyed spending time with her. She's
Yeah.
turned a corner in terms of like, and that's conditioning, James.
Of
She
course,
had a
yeah,
hard
you've
life.
grown up with each other, do you know what I mean?
She
I
had
bet
a
you've
hard
been a
life.
right hard graft for her, innit?
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
What's she done now? I wasn't involved in social norm.
Yeah.
Most people take their mum out for dinner. Most people buy their mum flowers
Yeah,
occasionally.
you haven't done any of that,
I
have you?
was racking that up.
Was
I
ya?
wouldn't even buy clothes, James.
Really?
Nah. I want to get out of my head because I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But when
Escapism.
But it's the perception of life. Like once you understand, it's a friendly place.
Yeah.
It is the majority of the
100%.
time.
It's you get out what you put in again, and it is like you just kind of choose what you see, and a lot of people don't actively choose. Hence why this thing, what I'm doing, is just like habits. Your natural habits are like, as I was saying before, the way that our brain interprets things. You can change that interpretation, and you can say, right, especially when you're in a shit place yourself, and hence why it's so easy for us to project our insecurities on people, that when you're feeling shit about yourself,
Thank you.
it's everybody else's fault. The
Bang.
amount of arguments that like we'll have based on how the other one is feeling. So, oh, you don't do this and you don't do that and da 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 da. That's nothing really to do with you. That's the lack that they feel in them, but they want to project that on you.
Yeah.
And the more I've learned how to deal with that, and I'll just be like, it's happening again, isn't it? Do you know? And I kind of identify it now, but sometimes you don't have to go down that road, and I'm catching it a lot more often, man. So
Do you know what I find? Like, you've hit the nail on the head. It was only when I started putting into myself that I realised is that 4-0 in the space of 30 seconds.
I think maybe it's a penalty, and then I think
They
they just
scored.
scored.
That makes more sense. Logical thinking. I like
Yeah.
it. My understanding is this, right? When I contribute to my own life or my own existence, I get my own sense of self-worth boosted up. And then when I'm feeling in a good level, because I can be proud of myself, or I've built up my own self-confidence, or I'm pushing boundaries, like with the running and that,
Yeah.
you must feel the same. You're breaking boundaries all the time, so you
Yeah.
know what you're now capable of. So your self-worth goes up. And then when someone comes at you with a negative, that is about you.
Oh, 100%.
It's not about me anymore,
This is
because
the thing, because-
I'm hitting my quota. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because people watch what I'm doing, and I mean, I'd say 98% has been positive, but there's
Yeah.
been like a couple of people been like, "What the fucking hell are you doing?"
Really?
Yeah.
I can't fathom that.
And but again, it's nothing. And I said, "Look, I'm not
That's
sure."
weak.
Well, this is the thing, and I said, "Well, I'm not sure
That's
what's."
them, innit?
Pardon?
That's their problem. That's
But
them.
this is it, and I said, "I'm not sure what's going on in your life at the moment," but
I'll have some of that for that.
yeah. But
You got to tear someone else down.
this is, and I didn't even go. I said, "Look," and then they came back and said, "Oh yeah, no, it's the anniversary of so and so's passing," and da 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 da. And I was like, "Well, I hope you're okay," And I checked in on them the next day, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry about yesterday."
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah,
So you go
100%.
above and beyond. Like, I'm
Yeah,
a compassionate person.
Where before I'd have just been like, I wouldn't even respond. You know
I
what
would've
I mean?
felt
Where
bad
now I'd
about
have just
what they
been like,
said.
raw, like. I don't know what must be going on in this person's world for them to kind of project their, you know, and they
Yeah.
and then she said, well, I was just trying to get a reaction out of you, to be honest. And I was like, you know,
I wouldn't have even got that far in my thought process. I would have completely believed what they said and then shut down what I was doing. Yeah.
Well, this is it, because they were like, well, I don't buy what you're doing, like you're fake and da da da. And it's
Really?
like, yeah,
200 and how many days have you been doing it?
yeah.
How many days have you been doing?
238 today, I think.
I'd love that level of fakeness in my life.
Yeah.
I can fake it.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, you know, like I think it was maybe a Facebook Live that I did, and it was just about, because now this is the other thing is like, and now I start to see the beauty and stuff, and I notice that my vocabulary has kind of changed, and sometimes when I watch back, I think, fucking hell, like everything is amazing, everything is beautiful, and really appreciative of stuff, and it. Oh, Liberty.
Is it
You're not getting
5-0?
smashed. I can't, because I can't see West Ham being that loud, so it's
I
like
can't see West Ham
I
being
don't
that
even
good.
know if you want to check the score.
I don't care anymore. Like, past caring, it's detachment. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, do you know what I love about you? I
Oh,
watch
here
your
we go.
Insta stories. No, I watch your Insta. Not that much. Do you know what I love about me and you, Jim?
What?
No. I watch your Insta stories. You're out there. Hair's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit.
No.
Why should you? Why should you? Because again, you're conditioning yourself. What am I going to do? My hair to go out running. What for? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I love the way that fake is
Oh,
the least
4-1, bruv.
to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't care.
At least you got one, innit? A little consolation goal.
Not even that. Football is dead for me. It died when we stopped being able to tackle from behind. Like, it's a
Oh,
contact
you went
sport.
1-0 up as well, apparently.
Oh, mate, honestly, I'm so past caring. I don't care. The goal.
Oh, no,
goal
they
was-
did.
goal
It
was
was
Sullivan.
1-0 them, and then they equalised.
Mate, it's beyond.
But there was no goals until 51 minutes, man. Amazing.
Yeah, our game opens up after the first goal goes in.
Yeah.
I think that the more we think about what other people think, the less inclined we are to take
100%.
action. Like going back to Taboo. Can you put out some content? I'm not happy with that. That's you. That's where you are. So either accept that you hit a bum note, or you played a bum note, or you whatever the case may be, accept it. That's you. The people that were there live saw that. You said this to me as well. And probably a Gary Vee thing. Don't care about your numbers. I don't give a fuck how many people watch my Insta story. It ain't for them.
No.
It's for my kids or for me.
Yeah.
Like, when you start over analysing what other people think, you're in trouble, man. You're
Yeah,
banging
it was
trouble.
interesting because when we were at the old Fight Club on
That
Saturday.
looks intense, by the way.
Huh?
That looks intense.
Yeah, it was. One of the girls that hooked us up with the tickets said to Jade, "Oh, you're doing really well with your thing. You're nearly up to 4,000 followers." And we was like, "Rah, I didn't even realise that people thought like that." Do you
No.
know what I mean?
But they do.
Yeah.
But that's where they're coming from. Like, I don't care if I've got one follower. I'll put up stuff on YouTube with the caveat, my kids might see this.
Yeah.
2 people. If any more than that see it, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I think like the most things I've had on mine since I've been sharing it on YouTube is like 6. But again, it doesn't deter me from putting it up.
why should it? It ain't about
Because you
other
just
people,
need
is
to,
it?
you need to just like put things into perspective. It's like Gary Vee, like as he said, he's been putting out content for how long, and like only in
This
the
many
last,
years.
only in the last 18 months that he's really gone.
Doesn't that?
Do you know what I mean?
And you said
it's
this
just
to me
about
as well.
consistency. Do you know what I mean?
You said this to me as well. You said you've got a story to tell, so tell it.
Yeah,
That's
everybody
it.
has.
Exactly. And that's
Everyone's
where
got
we're
a book in
heading.
them.
And that's where we're heading. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing. Like, people have a voyeuristic tendency. Like, I think
100%.
social media has taken over television. My
Yeah.
kids used to watch YouTube. Now they're watching Instagram stories.
Well, look at Arsenal Fan TV, for example.
I don't
look,
want
No, but look how much of a success that has been.
And that's not
And it's
even
not
just
even,
amongst
to the point
Arsenal
that they're
fans.
getting Gary Neville on their
Oh, really?
channel. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
yeah.
Is it
Because
that
he
popular?
slagged them off, and then they had a little pop at him, and then he went, "Oh, do you know what? Let's just settle this." And then like he had, and they
Hats
did,
off.
yeah. But
Mate.
so what a coup that is to get like a mainstream
Rival.
broadcaster to
And
appear on their
rival.
thing. So like looking at their views is probably through the roof. Do you know what I mean? But and from Arsenal Fan TV, they're all doing their own thing.
But do you think that the people that started at Arsenal Fan TV sat there and went, let's hopefully one day get Gary Neville on? They didn't give a
No,
fuck.
no,
They
no,
were
no,
airing
of
their
course.
view about
Yeah,
their
yeah,
cause.
yeah. That's it. You know, and then probably off the back of that, they're probably now starting to, you know, there's probably other clubs that have got their thing. You know, Arsenal Fan TV, just because of the whole Wenger situation, the whole thing of, you know, how, like, you know, as soon as they lose, everyone's like, I cannot wait for them. And then, because there's so many, like, different characters.
But how nice is that there's glory in defeat for them?
Yeah,
almost,
yeah.
Because it doesn't matter, win, lose or draw.
But I
it's
mean,
the
that's
story.
with any football team. I see, like, a lot, especially when things are bad for Arsenal, a lot of the Arsenal fans are making their posts, you know, like, it's just anti-Tottenham posts, and it's like,
that's what I love about
fan,
it.
do you know what
There
I
is
mean?
that entitlement amongst Arsenal fans we were talking about earlier. There's that sense of, if you achieve some success, you think that you're guaranteed that success for X number of years. It's
Yeah.
not a dynasty.
No.
The thing that happened with Alex Ferguson is not going to happen again. It will not happen again. Money plays too much of an important part. But just because you won the Prem one year, don't mean you're going to win it the next. Like, the way they've treated Wenger, slagging him off, like 10 major trophies or whatever it is in 22 years, and you're going to slag the man off. Let him fucking die in that chair if he wants to. He's giving blood, sweat and tears.
Well, he
for
only
the club.
signed on for 2 years, and now he's given up after one. So,
I can relate to that.
and this is the thing, and that's what's so interesting about the whole Wenger out thing. Is so divided. Is that, you know, there's a large portion that still have faith in him, and there's another portion, you know, and I guess appreciative for what he's, you know, achieved. Then there's another portion that's like, you know, he's just fucking, he's just longing it now. Do you know what I mean? He's like, outstayed his welcome.
So isn't the idea behind that? There's two things at play there.
And I think there's also the frustration that they haven't really been flush with the cash.
Ever.
Do you know what I mean?
They're
It's
still paying
like,
the stadium off.
well, they think that's, you know, and I guess that comes down to the owners as well. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not qualified to talk about football, so I really don't care about it. In fact, yesterday was the first game I watched in forever. One, I didn't even make it to half time. Two, we lost, so I won't be doing that again.
No.
But it's just like I've been able to detach myself so much from, because I used to be so heavily invested in like mainstream media, like Sky News was my thing, and watching that general
football.
election, and it was just like every, you know, like I was having murders with people on Facebook over, and I just think to myself,
What, anti-Corbyn mob?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, and I'm just like.
But that is brainwashed by the mainstream media. My nan
Oh,
slags off
100%,
Corbyn.
and that's what.
My nan
So
slags off
I guess the
Jeffrey
rebel
Corbyn.
in me is just like,
It's the
yeah,
underdog.
this is the thing, and it's like people just quote, and then
Thank
it
you.
got to the point I would just ask, and I'd say, why are you saying
I
that? And they
don't
said,
know.
well, it's just what's on the paper, and I think to myself, and then that's when you have
run the
to.
country. They read in the paper whatever the mainstream media says. That's
Yeah.
what they're going to go with. Do you know what I mean?
You got,
It's-
and it's like the Sun
Who's giving you
newspaper,
your
man.
news?
Yeah.
Exactly. Who's giving you your news?
Daily
What's
Mail
their
and
agenda?
The Sun.
I don't read the news. I don't
No.
watch the news. It's negative.
Well, I've detached myself from it completely, and I just don't have an opinion on it whatsoever. Saying that, though, the whole Syria thing, because I didn't realise it was a whole year since last year that we tried to do the same thing, where,
Really?
there was a chemical attack, and we must go and, you know, attack Syria. This year, and they took it to Parliament, they voted and got it booed out of
They
thing.
can do that first time.
Yeah, and then this
just
time
gone and done
round,
it.
they've just gone and done it. And
Here's
then
a
again,
question,
it's
Jake.
about. But Russia are saying that they've got proof that it was a false flag, not to get like too conspiracy
hidden,
theory.
smoking gun.
Yeah, where
We've
they
heard
say
those before.
where there was like some kind of force on the ground that did it, and then to make it look like that, and then
Would you discount
because it's
that?
only.
Would you ever discount that?
No, because it's only Syria. You remember the Axis of Evil?
Yes.
Bush come out and he was like, all of those countries are now in the central banking system, apart from Iran
Are they really?
and Syria.
Well, I thought Iran was going to be next. So it's
Well,
looking
they're
like
still
gonna
trying
topple
to
Syria
think,
and
yeah.
then move on to that.
Yeah,
Fucking checkmate.
but now he's talking to the
They're in
geezer
the
out
central.
of-
The ones that they described as axis of evil are now in the central.
Yeah,
central
yeah.
banking
So the
system.
ones that weren't, like Libya,
Fucking
so they
hell,
overthrew
man.
Libya, they overthrew Afghanistan,
Have
they
you seen
overthrew
Libya since Gaddafi
Iraq.
left? The
Yeah,
state
so-
of it.
Yeah, but this is what they do. They go around.
Saddam Hussein had that old terrorist. That, apparently, he had that under control. Like it was under his control. Like
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit bad because they had like the secret police that used to go around. You know, it was ruled with an iron fist, but there was order.
so are Man United. They won a lot of titles. No, I don't know
Fergie.
enough about it, but point being is that there's an agenda all the time. Like if you know about chemical weapons taking place or chemical warfare happening, send in your best Navy SEALs or your SAS teams or whoever to tackle that on the ground. How can bombing
Oh, my
He's gonna
children's
smack.
who sets.